So you're from Paragould. Your father was an insurance man. You still are an insurance man.
Correct.
And now you own a small grocery store with perishables. I can't think of a harder thing to do than that, except for maybe flowers that are also perishable. And you've got to deliver
We got
those.
flowers too, so.
Oh, yeah, you do. That's
we
true.
do have flowers.
Okay, tell us how all that came to be.
You know, when I met my wife about 20 years ago, we were on our first date, blind date. We were driving by the old Terry's Finer Foods. I looked over at her and said, if that ever becomes available, that I want that store. And it was between, and I told her it'd be Craft Co. or Terry's Finer Foods, if either one of them came available. So it was first date, and then lo and behold, we were on vacation in Florida early 2017. I get a phone call that the opportunity may be there. I left her in Key West. She said, I'm staying here. You go do what you got to do. And I flew home and started working on the deal, and we had it put together by March 1st of 2017.
What a romantic story.
Another blind date.
She was so happy. When I opened that door, she was so happy.
That wasn't a blind date.
We were on a blind
He
date.
said it was a blind date.
Yeah, who was it? That was some. It was who was it? Somebody.
What's another blind date?
Oh, that's really good. Oh, Harold Joyner.
Harold, there you go.
There you go. I knew I'd think of it here
The
in a
fence
minute.
man.
fence man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, same thing.
What a great story. Well, has it worked out?
We have, yes. And, all in all, I'd say it's gone very, very well. We've made little mistakes. We've not made any big mistakes. And so that's been very helpful. But, it's 6 a.m. to midnight most days. I still do insurance all day. Hub International is the largest private broker in the country. So we work on large deals all over the place. So I have those customers, those prospects I have to deal with. And then my wife runs the day-to-day of the store. And then, but about 5 o'clock, if I'm in town and not at another meeting, then I head to the store till we close up that night. And it's fun, at dinner in the green room, it's fun to go talk to folks and see who's sitting there. And they have so many choices for restaurants in this town, and they're great local spots to go that it really means a lot when you see them sitting in your place.
You're not disappointed you bought it?
Not at all. No, I'm 54. I don't want to do insurance forever. I'm not retiring from that anytime soon, but I have a place to go. And that's, I can't go sit on the park bench somewhere. I have to have something to do.
Well, let's catch everybody up with what from the last show from 2 years ago. You started your own brokerage firm when 20-something years ago, right?
Oh, I've been at several around town, 2 or 3. And then in 2010, I left Regions Insurance at the time. And then with some guys in Tulsa, we started the operation, the old Holmes organization of Arkansas. We started that here. And then Hub bought us in 2015.
So you are still with Hub?
Correct. Yeah, I run the Arkansas operations.
How long do you plan to do that?
Like I said, I'm 54, so, 65 at the latest. I don't want to say too much or my competitors will all pounce on my accounts that they said he's retiring in 2 years.
But I thought when you sold it, you actually were planning on retiring.
No, they're a good firm. I wanted to stay with them, and that brought a lot to the table for my clients.
I understand. I thought you wanted to retire and that's why you were selling it and that you were going to stay on for 2 more years and then you were going to retire and move to the Little Red River.
We still have our house there that we are selling now because we just don't get up there anymore. But, the store is a living, breathing thing. I mean, it's, in the morning at 8 o'clock, those doors open. Well, actually, starting tomorrow morning, the doors open at 6:30. And then it goes all day long. So the grocery, is a 7-day-a-week operation now at Heights Corner Market. And then the Green Room restaurant is Tuesday through Sunday, Sunday brunch. And so we shut down that at 2 on Sunday. And then now we have Walters coming on. That'll be 6:30. When they announced Starbucks is closing up in the Heights, that was 2 or 3 weeks ago. Walters started 2 or 3 weeks ago, and or the idea of it. And that's, so I just thought, heck, if they're pulling out a coffee up there, somebody's going to do it. And so we stepped in.
And one of the reasons they're pulling out, I think, is because they don't have a drive-through.
That's what I hear, yes.
And you're not going to have a drive-through.
No, But I've got a lot of parking. The businesses around us are not open in the morning. So you've got a parking spot you can pull in. It's not parallel parking like down on that end of Kavanaugh. So I think the ease of that will be better.
And the fact that for our listeners who don't know where you're located, all three of these businesses that we've just talked about are in one, I guess you'd say, mini mall strip. So it's not like you're having to have three different rents. You've got one.
It's one company, the market, and then what we just call the rooms.
Because you own the property too, right?
No, we lease it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, we've
So
got a
do you
long-term
lease
there.
all of that property across there?
Mm-hmm.
Did that come with Terry's, or are you just leasing it?
The whole building, the lease became available. So that's what we took, was that lease.
I got you.
And then once you control that, you control the
And so
the
it's good
business.
for you to put businesses in each one of those because
Sure.
you've got the whole piece of property being leased.
Correct. Because I don't want any partners in the building. I like getting along with me and not having to worry about
Neighbors can be tough.
Yes.
Small businesses, they may sell a lot, but the profit margin on a business that has a cost of goods is a lot different than a service business or, any type of business that doesn't actually have a product that you buy and then you turn around and you sell it. That cost of goods eats into your profit like nothing else. And the consumers today want everything cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. You're lucky. That's not your customer.
No, I mean, we are Luann may cringe if she's listening to this, but, we are a convenience store.
That's exactly right.
We are going to be higher than our competitors, than the box stores. I can't get the quantity deals they get, but.
And a quality store.
Oh, yeah, I put our quality against anybody.
Yes, I think it's a convenience store. So I was telling, I was telling everybody that I listened to your son's interview that you and him did in December of 2016, and your son said this, and he's 23 years old. He's already owned 3 businesses and sold 3 businesses for a good profit, but he said there was a time that consumers wanted service. He said consumers don't want service anymore. He said consumers want convenience, and that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't recall him saying that, but that's interesting that he and I have that same thought. But that's what the store is. You pull up out front, you walk in, we know your name, what can we help you with? If we see somebody walking out of the store empty-handed, we go track them down and say, what did we miss? What were you looking for? 9 times out of 10, they say, well, I was looking for this. And we say, well, it was right over here. Uh-huh. And we take them back in. If it's pouring down rain, we carry your bags out for you.
Y'all still deliver?
We will deliver. We'll deliver. We don't get a lot of requests for it, but bottom line, if little Miss Smith says, I'm not feeling well, and we'll get her some chicken soup over there. We'll take care of her.
Mm-hmm. I've actually had to do that before.
Yeah, that neighborhood, we've got a lot of friends up there, and there's some older folks up there that still shop with us quite a bit, and we take care of them. If anybody needs anything, we'll do it.
So, what's the biggest difference between insurance and grocery store business? What would you say is that's 2 completely different careers you're in.
Oh, it's the risk of this. If this didn't go well, then, we're in a world of hurt. We've got some personal guarantees out there.
Not many people do that at 50 years old.
No, this is, at my age, is not when you normally, bet the nest egg and you're thinking of golf and going, moving to Florida and all that stuff. But, I want something to do as I get older. I, every day get to that store early. Often I'm the one there that's turning on the lights and turning everything on before I head downtown to my real office down there. I love greeting folks when they come in the morning and
it's
talking.
It's very social.
Oh, it's a very social place. And
I often say Arkansas Flag and Banner is my firstborn.
Oh, yeah.
Now this will be your 4th born.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you have 3 sons.
3 sons and daughter Cameron, and then Luann's 2 sons.
I didn't realize you had 4 children.
Well, Cameron, I adopted several years ago.
I did not realize that.
She's an official 4th, and so she's doing well. She's at University of Tennessee.
Well, good for you.
Wow.
So what would you say? When I think about your stuff, I think that the hardest thing would be inventory. What would you say is the hardest thing about the grocery business? And did you have to do a lot of technology upgrades when you bought it?
inventory is definitely tough, and for the reason that we do not have a backstock area. So we're really, what you see is what you're getting. We don't have anything in a back room somewhere to resupply if the last box of J&M chocolate chip sells. So that's a challenge. We're constantly bringing things in, so it's real time. That the food on our shelves hadn't been there long because it turns, and we're not pulling out of somewhere else.
Do you use an inventory to control it? You look at your inventory every day and restock based off of a printout?
We just installed a new system that even on my phone I can look and see what's sold today, what hasn't sold today. We kind of have a new rule. If it's been there for 30 days and it hasn't moved, then that's we want to be the store that has that thing that everybody's looking for, but no one else has. And they always think of us, well, they were probably the ones that will have it. So we like to be that guy, but you can't have inventory sit there all year either. That's sitting there tied up. So you got that game of the things that are selling. You definitely want those on the shelf. If it's sitting too long, then that's your money. That's your capital. That's your money to go buy new stuff sitting right there.
I always have a problem figuring out what my average turnover is.
See, I can pretty much compute it live right now with our new system. So we're still learning it and its capabilities. It's a cloud-based system. The old system we have is servers and towers and could collapse at any time. So it was time to move on to a new deal.
Do you advertise?
We do.
Where? I've never seen your advertisements.
There's a couple of magazines that we advertise. Obviously any business today is social media. You have to be.
Who do you think your clients are? I know it's the people in the neighborhood. They're coming by for convenience. They're coming by for quality. Do you try to go outside of that area, or do you just try to focus on just your neighborhood right there? And if you were going to go outside that area, what would be your advertising? What would be your niche? Was the same thing I just said? Quality, convenience.
Yeah, the first thing we wanted to do was keep the old Terry's customer. And, that's the base of the store. And I think we've pretty well done that now. So, that's, and then hence, that's why we talked about going to organic and other things, was to try to get to the younger crowd that really cares more about what they are eating and drinking. And
if you can't make a go of it, who can?
I would say nobody can put more hours in and survive than we are right now. So I'd challenge anybody to keep the hours we are.
If you can't do it, then is it just got to go to Whole Foods? I mean, Amazon bought Whole Foods. I would say that's your biggest competitor. Is it just going to be all the mom and pop grocery stores are absolutely just going to be gone?
They're closing.
Because yours is how old? Terry's Finer Food is 40 years old or how old?
Older, probably 70-something years old. Nobody could really get me the date. But, Mr. Terry, then the Llewellyns, then the Goldens, and now us.
Why did you decide to change the name? It had such longevity with that name.
Oh, it came down to, the store was closing, and, you wanted to be very careful with, was the name associated in a positive way, which I by no means am slamming the prior owners at all. They did a fine job with Terry's, but we just decided to take it a different direction, and that was a name that we really didn't know who owned that name. I didn't want to start down that road with that name and find out that it was trademarked or anything like that, or some prior owner still controlled that. So we decided to just go with a new name.
You're such an insurance person. That's such an insurance thing to do.
Oh, Luann, she gets so mad at me because she's an interior designer, and she looks like the new Walters Coffee and Speakeasy. It's a beautiful room of sofas and lamps and rugs and wingbacks, not very few tables. And she wants it to look good. And what I tell the staff is, and suggest to her, I don't tell her, is, that it's risk management first. It's safety first. Is what you're wanting to do safe? And then logistically, is it going to work? Can somebody push a grocery cart down that aisle and down through there? Is it, does it feasibly work for somebody to come in and do business with us? And then it's how does it look and how do we dress it up? But it's always, I start with risk management on everything, and it drives them crazy. But it's just what I do. She put a new sign out front that was really going to hang down too low. And I said, the first thing that's going to happen, somebody's going to walk under this and bang their head on it.
And you're going to get sued.
Yeah,
and you're going to get sued.
So, now the sign is 30 inches higher now. So
good for you. Y'all make a great team.
Well, it makes sense, too, because you're thinking ahead.
Right.
You just make sure that it is safe so you don't run into those problems.
I mean, there's an old bathroom in the Walters space that has about an 8-inch drop in and out of there. And, you know, I don't want to use that room, and we don't use that room for the public. And I understand there were some people that fell out of that bathroom time to time. And so it's not a safe thing. It doesn't meet ADA requirements for sure. So we use the bathrooms that are in the green room over on that side, and they're all compliant.
So, okay, let's tell everybody that's listening. You have Terry's Finer Food or Heights Corner Market in the middle, and when you walk in the front door, or if you didn't walk in the front door and you went around the corner to the right, you would find your...
That's the green room restaurant. As you're looking at the building on the right side, and that's the old pizzeria, and then the old Terry's restaurant was in there too.
And what does it sell? What are its hours and what does it sell?
Oh God, I brought you a menu right there.
Oh, you sure did.
You know, and that we're
I'll show
open,
the people on Facebook. There it is,
we're open
people.
from 11. I think it's 11:30, maybe 11.
I'll look in your book.
To 2, and then it opens again at 5:30 to 9 or 10.
Oh, okay.
And the food in there, and our chef's doing a fantastic job. And
It's American food.
But it's the meat, the seafood, all of that comes out of the market. He shops in the market for
In
that
your
food.
store.
Right. So
I love that.
Hey,
That's a full circle business right
the
there.
chef in the afternoon's got a grocery cart walking around, and he's buying the things that he needs for that night.
That feels very New Yorkish.
Who is the chef?
Robert Scott, he's doing a great job. Great job for us.
And there's not enough American food restaurants. They're all themed. Matthew and I were talking about this the other day. They're either Italian or Mexican or chicken or, you know, it seems like there's a lot of themes going on. There's more Mexican Mexican restaurants than, I mean, if you want to go eat something else, you can't hardly find anything else to eat. And then there's a lot of Italian restaurants. And I like seeing American food done well.
And that menu is very simple. And
I like it.
There is a special every day, so you have to look on our website for that.
That's nice.
HeightsCornerMarket.com. And that's a brand new website.
So you look on HeightsCornerMarket.com to find out what the Green Room restaurant has on there.
That's right.
Okay.
So the market page is there. Then there's a tab for Walters that says opening tomorrow. And then a tab for the Green Room. So the menus are all there. We do private events. We had a big event. We've had several in the last few weeks. We've learned, if you ask me what's the hardest thing we've done, you know, those private events are hard. I mean, you get 60 people in a room and you're moving tables for that and chairs for that and setting for that. And you know, you got 65 people that may want a steak a different temperature. You know, it's
all at the
tricky.
same time.
Yeah, it's very tricky.
Yeah.
All at the same time. People, I can imagine that would be hard. So I was going to ask you, 60 people, that's your max in there?
Well, that used to be. With Walters, that room's not going to be set anymore like that. It's sofas
So it's
and
going to be
rugs, and that room probably won't change much. It would be a big deal to move it around. But, you know, we can put people out in the grocery
No, wait,
store.
is the Green Room is going to stay the Green Room. Walters is going to be on the other side of your restaurant,
That's right,
isn't
the
it?
old Foster Cochran space.
Yeah, so the Green Room will stay there. Is that the place that you're doing the catering, or was it in the old Walters or in the new
old
Walters?
the old Walters.
The new Walter.
Walters is where our private event space was.
So you weren't actually renting out the Green Room restaurant for private events. I misunderstood.
No.
I get you. It's always a restaurant for lunch and dinner, 6 days a week.
An occasional
5 days a week and a
occasional
Sunday
private
brunch.
party in there we will do.
And how many does it do?
40.
Okay.
But we will, if somebody uses that room, like it was used the night before last for a Christmas party, but we set tables out in the grocery store. So you'll have people sitting by the Tide or sitting by the
Isn't that fun?
pasta, and so, you know, and occasionally you'll walk by and you'll see them, you know,
I have to
grab
tell
a
you
cookie.
though,
know.
when I see all that going on, I think about people stealing stuff.
You know,
They've got their purses. They're like, "Oh, look at those chocolate chips!" Right in the old
So far,
handbag.
everybody's been honest about it. I've had phone calls the next day of, you know, wives saying my husband grabbed some
Put it on our
cookies
charge
last night.
account.
Yeah.
Put it on our- That's pretty sweet.
If you liked this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the picture of Kerry's face in the center of the screen. To watch the full-length interview, click the video in the top right. For more interview highlights, click the video in the bottom right. Thank you for watching.